Well, good morning and welcome to 755 Live, about 5 minutes of what Jesus said. You can find a different command of Jesus every weekday at the Bible Plan at bible.today.church. Some helpful resources there just to help us read the Bible together, to understand and know Jesus. He told us to make disciples by teaching those disciples to obey all of the things that he commanded. And so that's the purpose behind these Jesus Said sound bites, just a short version of the commands of Jesus so that we can put those into practice. If this is meaningful to you, it really helps and means a lot to me. If you like it, if you share it, if you comment, let me know that you're watching. I want to thank those of you who make comments, who send me messages. I run into people all the time who say, I really appreciate those Jesus Said videos, so appreciate that. Today's Jesus Said is from Matthew 6, and we're going to read verses 6 through 13. Jesus said, pray like this. So I'm going to read these passages, and then we'll explain a little bit what I believe Jesus is teaching us. Matthew 6:6 says, but you, when you pray, go into your room, and when you have shut your door, pray to your Father who's in the secret place. And your Father who sees in secret will reward you openly. And then a few verses later, he says, in this manner, verse 9, therefore pray. So basically, pray like this. Our Father in heaven, hallowed or sanctified, set apart be your name. Your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. Do not lead us into temptation, but deliver us from the evil one. For yours is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. Amen. Well, this is not a suggestion. This is actually a command. Jesus didn't say, if you pray. He said, when you pray. And he said, pray like this. Pray after this manner. I believe that Jesus is giving us a pattern of prayer here, almost like an outline. It's not just about repeating the words, although there's nothing wrong with saying this prayer or reading this prayer. But I believe that the deeper meaning here is Jesus is saying, pray like this, pray in this way, pray this pattern. And so I actually use the Lord's Prayer, or it probably would be better called the Disciples' Prayer. I use this as a prayer outline and use each of those as kind of a bullet point of prayer. There's a specific pattern here that I believe Jesus is teaching us. And to easily remember that, I use the word prayer to kind of understand how we should pray like this. So the P in prayer is a reminder to put it on the calendar. Jesus said, but when you pray, go to your private room. Set a time and a place. It's easy to say, oh, well, I just kind of pray all the time. But what time is on your calendar to really pray? Put it on the calendar. The R, remove distractions. Jesus said, shut your door and pray to your Father who is in secret, and your Father who sees in secret will reward you. So removing the distractions is important. How can you set aside a time and place for prayer and remove distractions so that you can focus? And then he begins the prayer after saying, pray like this in verse 9. He begins the prayer with our Father. So the A in prayer, acknowledge our Father. Our Father in heaven, your name be honored, you're holy, your kingdom come, your will be done. And then Y, your requests. Give us today our daily bread. Once again, that's in plural. It's not just a prayer about me, it's a prayer about us. The E in prayer, empty and arm yourself. Forgive us our debts as we also forgive our debtors. Forgive us for our faults and failings as we forgive others. And don't bring us into temptation, but deliver us from the evil one. Yours is the kingdom. Yours is the power. So we are emptying ourselves, repenting of our sin, forgiving others, and then acknowledging God and giving him all the credit. Empty and arm yourself. And then R, something I've just in the last few years have really started doing, reflect and write it down. I've found that keeping a prayer journal makes an incredible difference. So Jesus said, pray like this. I like to remember that as a pattern of prayer, using the word prayer. P, put it on the calendar. R, remove distractions. A, acknowledge our Father. Y, your requests, our requests together. E, empty and arm yourself. And R, reflect and write it down. Jesus said, pray like this. Have you put it on your calendar? Do you follow the pattern that he gave us? Pray like this is what Jesus said. How can we